Boys and girls, I'm going to read a living and non living things book to you written by Alyse Sweeney. And this is from Reading A to Z, their Science A to Z that they have. Living and non living things. We've got our table of contents. So we have our introduction, and it says all living things have 6 rules in common. Do living things follow all 6 rules? Living things, non living things? Is it living or is it non living? Conclusion and glossary. So I may not necessarily read the whole book to you, okay? But here's our introduction. This clock moves and makes noise, but is it alive? Was it ever alive? What about this log? How do you know if something is living or not? All living things have 6 rules in common. Number 1, living things grow and develop. Seeds grow into plants, puppies grow into dogs, babies grow into children, and children grow into adults. Living things change as they grow. Think about it. A dog is fully developed at the age of 2. Are people? Hmm. Number 2, living things get and use energy. Energy comes from the sun. Plants use the energy sun to make food. People get energy by eating plants or by eating animals that eat plants. So plants can sometimes be a tricky thing to prove that they're living. Some people think that they don't eat, but plants are different from us because they make their own food by using that energy from the sun's light. Living things reproduce. This means that living things make more of their own kind. Tigers make more tigers. Roses make more roses. People make more people. But can pens make more pens? Of course not. Without reproduction, living things would disappear. They become extinct. Okay? And here is talking about number 4. Living things are made of cells. Most cells are too small to be seen without a microscope. Ooh, a science tool. But cells have all the material needed for life. Some living things are made of just one cell. People are made of trillions of cells. So here are the onion cells, and they are very boxy. They kind of look like rectangles. Living things respond to their environment. For example, a bear responds to cold winters by sleeping in a cave. We talked about that last year with our hibernation, right? A plant will die without enough water or sunlight, but a pen will stay a pen no matter how cold or hot it is. Number 6, living things adapt to their environment. Some rabbits' fur turns white in the winter. With white fur, it can hide in the snow from enemies. In summer, it turns brown to blend in with the ground. Do living things follow all 6 rules? Yes. A living thing is not living if it has only some of the characteristics. Think about a toy car. It gets and uses energy. It responds when you push its buttons, but it doesn't grow and develop. It doesn't reproduce, and it isn't made of cells. So a toy car is not a living thing. Living things. A living thing is anything that is now alive or was once alive. A log is not alive now, but it was once a tree. So you need to remember that just because something is no longer living, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a non-living thing. It's just no longer alive. Non-living things. A non-living thing is anything that was never alive. Metal, water, plastic, and rocks are all things that were never alive. Okay? And then they have a little quiz here. We're not going to worry about the quiz because you've been doing all kinds of activities for me to prove if you know something is living or non-living. So if you need to, listen back to the book for those 6 characteristics. I know we keep talking about some of them. The ones that we keep talking about over and over again are: do they move on their own? Do they grow and change? Do they breathe? Do they need food and water to survive? And can they reproduce or make some more of their own? But there are some other ones that we learned about here in our book. I hope that you've been enjoying learning about living and non living things, and soon you'll go out to get to do an adventure of your own.